Let's be honest, your emotions feel like they just happened to you, don't they? That sudden wave of anger when you're stuck in traffic, a jolt of anxiety from a one-word email, a surge of frustration that completely tanks your day. It feels like you're just a passenger, getting tossed around by a storm you can't control. But what if that's not the whole story? What if, in that tiny gap between something happening and you feeling that emotion, you actually hold all the power? The ancient Stoics taught a simple but revolutionary idea that helps you intercept destructive emotions before they spiral. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do. We spend most of our lives just reacting. An event happens, and faster than you can blink, an emotion pops up and takes the wheel. That initial feeling, that hot flash of anger, that cold pit of anxiety is what the Stoics called a first impression. It feels automatic, it feels real, and it feels like a direct report on what's happening. When someone cuts you off on the highway, the first impression is, "I've been disrespected." When your boss emails you, "We need to talk," the impression is, "I'm in deep trouble." These impressions hijack our system. Our heart starts pounding, our shoulders tense up, our mind starts racing. We become slaves to this first, raw, unexamined appearance of things. The real tragedy is that we think that first feeling is the end of the story. We mistake that initial, involuntary flash for the entire emotional experience. We let it dictate our actions and write the script for the rest of our day. We feel like a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of every single wave. But the Stoics knew this first impression isn't the destination, it's just a fork in the road. And which path you take next is entirely your choice. Over 2,000 years ago, a wild group of thinkers, slaves, senators, and even an emperor cracked the code on human suffering. They realized our inner peace isn't governed by the chaos of the outside world. The philosopher Epictetus put it perfectly when he said that it's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. Let that sink in. It's not the traffic jam that's making you angry. It's your judgment that the traffic jam is a terrible, unacceptable, day-ruining event. It's not a critical comment that hurts you, it's your judgment that this comment defines your self-worth. The event itself is neutral. It's a blank slate. Our judgment is the paint we use to color it good or bad, terrifying or trivial. This is the core of Stoicism. It's not about suppressing your feelings or becoming some cold, emotionless robot. It's about becoming an expert on your own mind. It's about understanding that between that first impression and a full-blown negative emotion, there is a space. And in that space lies your power, the power to judge, to choose. The Stoics taught that if you can learn to operate in that space, you can achieve a state of calm strength they called apatheia, not apathy, but a mind that isn't easily shaken by the storms of life. The mind trick: pause, investigate, reframe. This isn't some complex philosophical homework. It's a practical, 3-step mental algorithm you can run in seconds. Think of it like a workout for your mind. Step 1, the pause. The first and most important step is to create a little space. When that initial feeling hits you, that jolt of anger, fear, or frustration, your only job is to pause. The Stoic writer Seneca said it best: the greatest remedy for anger is delay. In that delay, you break the chain of automatic reaction. You don't have to solve anything in this pause. You don't even have to feel better. You just have to stop. Take one deep breath. This pause is you declaring independence from your impulses. It's the moment you step back from the cliff edge instead of just walking right off it. Without this, the next 2 steps are impossible. Step 2, the investigation. Now, in the space you've created, you get to be a detective. Challenge that first impression. Epictetus gave us the script: tell every harsh impression, you are just an impression, and not at all what you appear to be. Then, you test it. How? By asking a couple of simple, rational questions. First, the big one: is this in my control or out of my control? This is the famous Stoic dichotomy of control. Another person's actions, the weather, the economy, the past, all outside of your control. Your judgments, your responses, your choices, those are in your control. Wasting energy on things you can't influence is a recipe for misery. If it's out of your control, the Stoic response is, then it is nothing to me. Second, ask, is my story about this actually true and objective? You have to strip the drama away from the event. As the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. He practiced seeing things for what they are, without the dramatic story we attach. For example, the disrespect in traffic was just a car changing lanes. The urgent email was just a word on a screen. When you separate the objective fact from your subjective story, you rob the impression of its power. You see it for what it is, external and neutral. Step 3. The reframe. Once you've paused and investigated, you can do the final, transformative step, reframe. This is where you consciously choose a new, more rational, and useful judgment to replace the destructive one. This isn't about positive thinking or pretending something bad is good. It's about finding a more virtuous and productive angle. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Let's go back to our examples. The traffic jam, your initial judgment was, this is a disaster, my day is ruined. After pausing, you realize it's out of your control. Your reframe could be, this is a chance to practice patience. This is some quiet time to listen to my audiobook. This is just an external event that has no power over how I feel. The critical comment, your first impression was, this person thinks I'm a failure. After pausing, you see it's just one person's opinion external to you. Your reframe could be, okay, maybe there's useful feedback here I can learn from, or if it was just a nasty comment, that person's bitterness is their problem, not mine. I'm going to respond with composure. This is the whole trick. You take a raw, unhelpful impression and consciously transform it into a deliberate, rational, and virtuous response. You are choosing how you want to feel by choosing what you decide to think. Let's use a huge, real-world example. Imagine you unexpectedly lose your job. The first impression is a tidal wave, panic, fear, failure. My life is over. I'm ruined. How will I survive? This is the storm hitting full force. Now, let's apply the process. First, the pause. Instead of spiraling, you just stop. Breathe. Acknowledge the shock and fear without letting them take the controls. You create a moment of stillness right in the eye of the hurricane. Second, the investigation. You ask the questions. Is the company's decision in my control? Nope. Can I change it? No. These are external facts. Then you challenge your catastrophic story. Is it objectively true that my life is over? No. That's a story I'm telling myself. The objective fact is, my employment has ended. That's it. Third, the reframe. Now you choose a new narrative. Instead of I'm ruined, you can choose, this is an obstacle, and the obstacle is the way. This is an opportunity to find a job that I actually care about. This is a chance to prove how resilient I am. I lost my job, but I haven't lost my character, my skills, or my mind. I will focus only on what I can control, my resume, my network, my attitude, and facing this with courage. This isn't easy, but it is the path to real freedom. By applying this process, you turn a potential tragedy into a test of character. You turn a moment of powerlessness into a moment of profound personal power. If you're finding this guide to a calmer, more resilient mind valuable, consider subscribing to join the community. This journey to a tranquil mind is a daily practice, and it's better to walk that path together. This Stoic method, investigate, reframe, isn't a magic wand. It's a mental muscle. The first few times you try it, it's going to feel awkward. Your old, automatic reactions will fight back. But if you stick with it, it gets faster, easier, and eventually, it becomes your new default setting. This is more than just a trick, it's a way to completely transform your relationship with your own emotions. You learn that your feelings don't have to be your masters. You can be the calm, steady leader of your own mind. So here's the challenge. In the next 24 hours, you're going to feel a flash of frustration, anxiety, or anger. It's guaranteed. When that first impression hits, just try it. Pause. Investigate. And reframe. Don't just watch this and move on. Put it into practice. Because as Seneca said, the goal isn't just to know philosophy, but to live it. By mastering this one internal skill, you can face all the chaos of the world not with fear and frustration, but with an unshakable inner peace. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking.